Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be explaining Chapter 1, the significance of ancient Indian history from India's ancient past by R.S. Sharma. Let's get started with the introduction. The study of ancient Indian history is important for several reasons. It tells us how, when and where people developed the earliest cultures in India और किस तरह से उन्होंने एग्रीकल्चर की शुरुआत की, किस तरह से स्टॉक रेजिंग की शुरुआत की ताकि वो अपनी लाइफ को सिक्योर कर सके और वो सेटल हो सके. How the ancient Indian discovered and utilized natural resources and how they created the means for their livelihood. The study of ancient Indian history, we get an idea how the ancient inhabitants made arrangements for food, shelter, and transport, and learn how they took to farming, spinning, weaving, metalworking, and like how they cleared forest, founded villages, cities, and eventually large kingdoms. The different forms of writing prevalent in India today are all derived from the ancient scripts. This is also true for the languages that we speak today. Unity in diversity. Ancient Indian history is interesting because many races and tribes intermingled in early India. The pre-Aryans, the Indo-Aryans, the Greeks, the Scythians, the Hunas, the Turks and others made India their home. हर एथनिक ग्रुप ने अपना खुद का एक हिस्सा कंट्रीब्यूट किया है इंडियन सोशल सिस्टम के एवोल्यूशन में, आर्ट एंड आर्किटेक्चर में, लैंग्वेज में या फिर लिटरेचर में. जो रिमार्केबल फीचर है, रिमार्केबल फीचर ऑफ एंशियंट इंडियन कल्चर हैज़ बीन द मिक्सिंग ऑफ cultural elements from the north and south and from the east and west. The Aryan elements are equated with the Vedic and Puranic culture of the north and the pre-Aryan of the south. However, many Munda, Dravidian, and other non-Sanskritic terms occur in the Vedic text ascribed to 1500 to 500 BC. They indicate ideas, institutions, and settlements associated with peninsular and non-Vedic India. Similarly, Pali and Sanskrit terms signifying ideas and institutions developed in Gangetic plains appears in the earliest Tamil texts called the Sangam literature. India has since ancient times been a land of several religions. Ancient India ने बहुत सारे रिलीजन की शुरुआत को देखा है, बर्थ को देखा है, जैसे ब्राह्मणिज्म हो गया या फिर ब्राह्मणिज्म का दूसरा नाम हिंदुइज्म या फिर जैनिज्म या बुद्धिज़्म. But all these cultures and religions intermingled and interacted. Thus इंडियंस ने अलग अलग लैंग्वेजेस बोलना शुरू कर दिया. दे स्टार्टेड प्रैक्टिसिंग डिफरेंट रिलीजन and observe different social customs. They follow certain common style of life. Our country shows a deep underlying unity despite great diversity. The Indian subcontinent was geographically well defined and its geographical unity was supplemented by cultural integration. Though there existed many states, languages, cultures and communities, gradually people developed territorial identity. और ये जो स्टेट्स से टेरिटोरियल यूनिट्स थे इनको जनपद कहा जाता था. वे वर नेम्ड आफ्टर डिफरेंट ट्राइब्स और ये अपने जो उस जनपद पर रूल करता था उनके नाम पे इसके नाम रखे जाते थे जनपद के. हाउएवर द कंट्री वो एज अ होल केम टू बी नेम्ड आर्यवर्त after the dominant cultural community called the Aryans. Aryavarth denoted northern and central India and extended from the eastern to the western sea coast. The other name by which India was better known was Bharatvarsh or the land of the Bharatas. Bharata in the sense of tribe or family figures in the ऋग्वेदा एंड महाभारत. बट जो नाम है भारतवर्ष वो महाभारत और पोस्ट गुप्ता संस्कृत टेक्स्ट में देखने को मिलता है. इरानियन इंस्क्रिप्शंस थे वो बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है फॉर द ओरिजिन ऑफ द टर्म हिंदी. द टर्म हिंदू occurs in the inscriptions of 5th and 6th centuries BC. It is derived from the Sanskrit term Sindhu. The Iranian inscriptions first mention Hindu as a district on the Indus. Therefore, in the earliest stage, the term Hindu means a territorial unit. It neither indicates a religion nor a community. Our ancient poets, philosophers, and writers viewed the country as an integral unit. The kings who tried to establish their authority from the Himalayas to Cape Comorin, and from the valley of the Brahmaputra in the east to the land beyond the Indus in the west, were universally praised, और उनको चक्रवर्ती बोला जाता था जो पूरे भारत पर राज करते थे. This form of political unity was attained at least twice in ancient times. In the 3rd century BC, Ashoka extended his empire over the whole India, bearing the extreme south. His inscriptions are scattered across a major part of Indo-Pakistan subcontinent and even in Afghanistan. Again in 4th century AD, Samudragupta carried his victorious arms from the Ganga to the borders of the Tamil land. In the 7th century, the Chalukya king पुलकेशन ने हर्षवर्धना को डिफीट किया, जो कि द लॉर्ड ऑफ द वोल ऑफ नॉर्थ इंडिया कहलाते थे. डिस्पाइट द लैक ऑफ पॉलिटिकल यूनिटी, पॉलिटिकल फॉर्मेशंस ऑल ओवर इंडिया अज्यूम्ड मोर और लेस अ सिंगल फॉर्म. कोई एक राजा ही कंट्रोल करता था उसे. द यूनिटी ऑफ इंडिया वॉज ऑल्सो रिकग्नाइज्ड बाय फॉरेनर्स. They first came into contact with the people living on the Sindhu or the Indus river, so they named the entire country after this river. The word Hind or Hindu is derived from the Sanskrit term Sindhu, and on the same basis the country became to be known as India, which is very close to the Greek term of it. India came to be called Hind in the Persian and Arabic languages. The post-Kushan times, in post-Kushan times, the Iranian rulers conquered the Sindh area and named it Hindustan. In the 3rd century BC, Prakrit served as the lingua franca across the major part of India. मतलब प्राकृत लैंग्वेज बहुत मेजर लैंग्वेज थी उस समय की, 3rd century BC की. अशोका के जो इंस्क्रिप्शंस है वो उनको प्राकृत लैंग्वेज में इंस्क्राइब किया गया था, मेनली इन ब्राह्मी स्क्रिप्ट. लेटर जो संस्कृत ने एक सेम पोजीशन एक्वायर कर ली एंड सर्व्ड एज द स्टेट लैंग्वेज इन द रिमोटेस्ट पार्ट्स ऑफ इंडिया. द एंशिएंट एपिक्स जैसे कि रामायण और महाभारत वर स्टडीड विद द सेम zeal एंड डिवोशन इन द लैंड ऑफ Tamils as in the intellectual circles of Banaras and Takshashila. Originally composed in Sanskrit, various versions of these epics were produced in different local languages. Indian history is especially worthy of our attention because of a peculiar type of social system which developed in India. In North India, the Varna or caste system developed, which eventually spread throughout the country and influenced even the Christians and the Muslims. The relevance of the past to the present. The study of India's past assumes special significance in the context of the problem that we currently face. Some people clamor for the restoration of ancient culture and civilization, and a substantial number of people sentimentally swayed by what they consider to be the past glories of India. दिस इज़ डिफरेंट बिकॉज जो कंसर्न है प्रिजर्वेशन का, मतलब एंशियंट हेरिटेज को प्रिजर्व करने का, आर्ट या फिर आर्किटेक्चर को प्रिजर्व करने का, वो यहाँ पर नहीं है. व्हाट दे रियली वांट इज़ टू ब्रिंग बैक द ओल्ड पैटर्न ऑफ सोसाइटी एंड कल्चर. दिस डिमांड अ क्लियर एंड करेक्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द पास्ट. वी कैन नॉट इग्नोर, हम इस फैक्ट को इग्नोर नहीं कर सकते कि एंशियंट इंडियन सोसाइटी में एक बहुत ज़्यादा ग्रोस सोशल इनजस्टिस था. जो लोअर ऑर्डर्स थे, पर्टिकुलरली द शूद्राज एंड द अनटचेबल्स, वो बहुत ज़्यादा दबे कुचले थे, उन्हें दबाया गया था, विच इज़ शॉकिंग टू द मॉडर्न माइंड. सिमिलरली लॉ एंड कस्टम्स डिस्क्रिमिनेट अगेंस्ट वुमेन इन फेवर ऑफ मैन. द रेस्टोरेशन of old way of life will naturally revive and strengthen all those iniquities. The success of the ancients in surmounting the difficulties presented by nature and human factors can build our hope and confidence in the future, but any attempt to bring back the past will mean a perpetuation of the social inequity that afflicted India. The caste system or the sectarianism hinder the democratic integration and development of India. Caste barriers and prejudices do not allow even educated individuals to appreciate the dignity of manual labor and hamper our unification for a cause, a common use. The study of ancient Indian history is therefore relevant not only to those who want to understand the true nature of the past, but also to those who seek to understand the nature of the obstacles that hamper India's progress as a nation.